Did you know there's a difference between a buyer's agent and a listing agent? And when it comes time to making an offer on a house, knowing who has your best interest at heart could potentially save you thousands of dollars. Hi, my name is Anthony Johnson, and I've been selling real estate now for over 8 years. My whole goal with this channel is to help you save money, build equity, and gain knowledge. Let's go. According to the National Association of Realtors, a buyer's representative, also known as a buyer's agent, works in the best interest of the buyer. And conversely, a seller's agent works in the best interest of the seller. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a story about a client that I just helped recently, and then when we're done, you can decide whether or not having a buyer's agent is in your best interest. So you're asking yourself, do I really need a buyer's agent? I mean, I'm the one that's looking for all the houses. I'm the one that's up all night. I know how many bedrooms and bathrooms and lot acres and all these things. I'm the one that's doing all the work. What do I need a buyer's agent for? And you know what? That's a fair question. And believe it or not, if we put the world into, say, a basket of 100 people, out of those 100 people, I would say that probably 2% of them, maybe 3%, don't need a buyer's agent. Maybe they were an agent in the past, or maybe they've done so many real estate transactions that they know the lingo. And you know what? That's fair. But the other 97 or 98% of people, they do need representation, and it's important for them to know exactly why. So we probably already know by now that the world of real estate has become a lot more competitive, a lot different since the COVID days. And if you don't know why, well, reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll give you a long explanation as to why, or maybe you can go on Google and you can research it. But things have become more competitive, and it's a lot more important now to have a buyer's agent that understands the market more than ever. So let's talk about buyer agency and why it's so important, because at the end of the day, it's more than just understanding your wish list, because everyone has a wish list. But I can tell you that there's been so many times I've had to sit down with someone that's been pre-approved for hypothetically $250,000, and they've had a wish list, but the wish list didn't match up to the pre-approval, because the areas that they were targeting, it didn't make sense. They were wishing for a $350,000 house, and they really only had a budget for $250,000. So that's one of the first things that a buyer agent, well, a good buyer agent, is going to be able to filter out and help you understand. But there's a lot more than that, because when it comes time to putting an offer together, a good agent's gonna do their research. They're gonna study the property, they're gonna know that market, and they're gonna know how to strategically align your best interest with getting that offer accepted if that's the house that you really want. There's been a lot of times where I've had to sit down with someone and help them understand, listen, if you want this house, there's things that we're gonna have to potentially do that may make you uncomfortable sleeping at night, and you're gonna have to make that decision. An example, one of the biggest things that I always do when I sit down with someone, when I'm representing people on the buying side, is help gauge an understanding of how long do you plan on being in this house for? Is this a home that you plan on being in forever? Or is this a home that you plan on being in for, say, the next 4 to 5 years? Because based on that answer is going to really base the strategy that we're gonna put together. After I figure that out, I can then talk about how we can strategically put an offer together. Because let's be honest here, an appraisal really only matters if you plan on being in that house for a short period of time. If it's gonna be your forever home, what does an appraisal matter? You planning on this being your last home, and you don't need to build appraised value over the next 10, 20 years to sell it to potentially buy something else. So then we can strategically come in, and if we have to, offer more than the asking price. If the comparables make sense, then that's something that we have to do. Now, that's not necessarily something that we're automatically going to do, but it's good for you as a buyer to understand. So let's talk about some other things that a good buyer agent is going to do. They're gonna have people at their disposal, good inspectors. Now, I know there's a lot of concerns about inspectors, and some people just think that we just have the inspector go out there and make the deal work. Well, that's really not how it works. And a good buyer's agent should have a list of inspectors that they choose, and then let the buyer choose. That way, they don't think that we're just pigeonholing them to one particular inspector to make it work. We're gonna put together a list of people that we know, like, and trust, and then let the buyer decide who they wanna work with. Outside of that, we know other contacts like lawyers, contractors, pest inspectors, good lenders. There's a variety of things that we have as knowledge that can really help you position yourself when it comes time to putting an offer together. A good buyer's agent is also going to be able to filter out the emotions that people go through. If there's one thing I've learned in this business over the years, it's we all have emotions, obviously, but there's something that's heightened about it when it comes to a real estate transaction. And that's one of our jobs, to help people understand what reality is and what their dreams and goals are, how we can put those all together to make this come to life. What I want to do now is give you a scenario, a story about a previous deal that I did and how this never would have happened unless this particular buyer had a good, reliable buyer's agent. In this case, it was me at this particular point in time that helped navigate them through this process. And there's no way they would have known how to do this on their own. There's just absolutely no way. And again, it just illustrates why having a buyer's agent was so important in this particular transaction. I remember this deal like it was yesterday, and it's one of the many reasons that I love doing what I'm doing, because the satisfaction that I had on the back end of making this work was so wonderful. Like, I've never got this working at a 9-to-5 job. I remember this particular situation. We went out, we looked at this condo. She wanted to be in this area because her family was there and she was getting older and she just wanted this condo. But I've seen condos in this little division sell so quickly over the years since COVID. It was a very, very competitive market. And I knew that we had to be very strategic. Well, after we went through it, one day on the market, come to find out she didn't have all the cash that was gonna be needed to buy it. So we had to find alternative measures to be able to get the money to make this work. And she just didn't have enough time because it went pending in like 2 days. She ended up losing it and she was very sad, obviously, but you know, at this point in time, she knew that, you know, this is probably what was gonna happen. But after speaking with the neighbor, this neighbor had mentioned that there's another one that's gonna be coming up. We just don't know when. Me being a buyer's agent, of course, my job is to try to help figure out what's going on and see if I can find a possible solution to maybe get this off market. So I did some calling around, did some investigating. Even though I found the seller, they weren't taking my phone calls, probably because they thought I was trying to solicit to get the listing, even though that wasn't the intention. I was just trying to do my job to see if I can, you know, put this deal together before it gets on the market, because I knew it was gonna be crazy, and maybe I can go in there and get them a good offer and position ourselves in a position that could get it, you know, before it gets crazy. That didn't happen, even though I tried my best. It went on the market. Now, before it went on the market, we knew. So we were already putting together strategies, and we had found another way for her to acquire the rest of the money that's going to be needed to buy this if it comes on the market. And so the house came on the market and it was listed for $140,000. And at this particular point in time, she had $100,000 of her own money, and then she was able to get up to $50,000 if need be from another alternative source, and we're able to put them into one pre-approval. So we're already ready to go. We already positioned ourselves because we knew that this house was coming, and the last one that we lost it because we weren't ready. So as soon as it hit the market, we sat down and we had a conversation. Now, this is one of those scenarios that I mentioned earlier about the appraisal. Obviously, she's paying cash, so there's not gonna be an appraisal. However, some people are so hung up on what the appraised value is, they don't wanna pay more for their house, they let it go. And sometimes that's just not the right fit depending on who you're dealing with. Now, this individual said that, listen, I'm gonna be here till I die. Literally, I'm gonna die in this home, is what this individual told me, which obviously, you know, I don't want that to happen, but what it tells me as the agent is that she loved it. She doesn't care about the appraisal. Her family's here. This is where her roots are. She wants to live here. So that tells me that, okay, let's put this offer together that makes sense. That way she's not gonna lose it, because I know we only have one shot and she's got a limited amount of money. And if we don't make this offer work, the chance of her finding something in the near future isn't gonna be very good, because this price point for condos is just unheard of. Like, they sell in a day. So what we did, we came together, we found a solution, and that solution was, let's just go ahead and put your best foot in right now. Make the best offer that you can. I know it's one day on the market, but let's make this an offer that they can't refuse. If you made it this far in the video, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But let's take it one step further. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It'll help me out, and it'll help the algorithm push my content out to more folks. And this is what a good buyer's agent is going to do. And if you don't have this knowledge on how to do it, you don't know this market, you don't know this area, you're more than likely not gonna be able to get a deal. And so we structured it. We were $10,000 over the asking price. We waived our inspection period. We put a huge earnest money deposit down. I called the agent and said they know everything about the area, they know everything about the condo, they love it, there's gonna be no concerns, we're not backing out of this deal, it's 100% what we want. And what that relayed to the listing agent and then to the seller is that, okay, so we have someone who's serious, we figured that out. They're giving us more than what we want, and even though we strategically knew that even though we were giving them more, if it were to appraise, it would probably still appraise, because I knew after doing my research that they had priced it under market value to drive up the offers, and that's what a good listing agent is gonna do. Now, I would never have someone pay over the asking price unless A, I knew it was worth it, and B, the client decided based on their motivation and what they want that this is something that they're willing to do. That's it. But they did, and because we were able to put this together in this way, they took our offer. And the client was ecstatic, so happy. She literally asked me if she could give me a hug because she knew I was married. And it was just a wonderful transaction. And it turned out so smoothly, and it made the buyer so happy. Now, I'm giving you this story because there are good agents, and if we do our job right, we're going to inform you. We're going to help you. It's not about trying to put more money in our pocket. It's about helping you understand this process, letting you make the decision, but we're gonna give you our knowledge, right? And then let you decide how you wanna proceed with this and make sure that you know every possible scenario on how this could work. That way, when you make a decision, you know what's best for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. I really want to get this information out to more people because some people just don't understand what a good buyer agent is going to do and how we're here for you. Also, be sure to hit that like button. And listen, if you want to know more about mortgage interest rates and really what the hidden factors are behind those interest rates, check out this video right here. It'll really help you out. Thanks so much. We'll see you in a future video.